Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. We are back with you guys. This is the Spice. Oh, give me some more. Life.
Live.
I'm Angela,
This is Chris coming to you.
and we're here today. We're going to discuss one of my favorite subjects, and I'm sure it's one of yours too.
Cheeseburgers.
A cheeseburger.
Mhm.
Self
Bugger.
care. Self care. And we know it's important.
hmm
So we're going to have a discussion about it.
Yes. Yes.
So,
yes.
Christopher, you mind starting us off?
Yeah. So we can talk about what it means. It's always good to start off with an idea of what it means, even though there's different variations.
Yes.
And what it tells us in the Oxford is it's the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health. So it's related to your health, and mental health
Yes.
first, and then of course physical, and then the practice R. It says the practice of taking an active role in protecting one's own well-being and happiness, in particular during those periods of stress.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, listening to that definition, that shows that there is requirement for you personally to take action. You have to take action for yourself because nobody knows you better than you. So you're going to have to do that to preserve your well-being and your happiness. And I do like that because I feel that, practicing this self-care, it really helps you to really kind of not only do you know yourself, but to know yourself better and what you can tolerate and put in parameters and where you can protect yourself from negativity or making sure that your body is good, in regards to physical health as well.
Yeah, and there's different aspects of it. It can be a little quick, short-term form of it, or it can be something that may be extended. So when someone think about saying, "Oh man, it's not work; it's just more of a time you got to take to balance yourself back," because as it said in that definition, your red flag or something that would make you think, "Okay, I do probably need some self care," is when you feel some stress, you might be a
Yes.
little overwhelmed, and then you can activate that something quickly, or again, something can be short.
Yeah.
And we can talk about some examples of that.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. You see, we're thinking the same we got brain wavelength.
Hmm.
So basically, do you want to start off? So tell me what are some examples of that for you?
Like, so short ones could be someone, and we talked about this the other day, someone saying, you know what, I'm going to shop. I'm going to, look at some items. Just go, even if it's direct shopping or eye shopping, looking at some small purchase, like I'm going to get a couple of, items of clothes. Or you can say, you know what, I need to replace my sofa. But just something to kind of take your mind off the stressful situations that you may have dealt with. Could be people related, work related, personal related, so on and so forth. Just some form of that. Or maybe just saying, you know what, I'm going to go and just read something and relax for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are short-term thoughts. The one about shopping could be a little bit more long-term, but yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was thinking too was just a bath, a nice relaxing bath with, and I've done this before. I played some really relaxing spa music. It could be just spa, it could be jazz. You can just really just, relax in a bath with different, bath items that'll help you relax, help your muscle relax. There are a lot of products and people are selling a lot of those today.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps, along with, like we mentioned before on our previous shows and things that we do as far as walking. That is a form of self-care exercise, is because you're taking care of your body.
Yeah. You can literally feel the difference when we walk. I was talking about it today. Even when you're drained, walking still can activate certain things in you to help sustain the walk and also kind of just feel good about yourself. So walking definitely helps and then just trying to put your mind in the right place.
Yes.
That helps as well. So, but those are like some people may say, well, that takes work to walk. Wait a minute. But like you mentioned, the bubble bath thing, again, just, you know what? You don't even have to just shift something that you normally do. So if it's something you like, the monotony of something that you always do, shift out of that into something that's not stressful, but different. And even if it's just like, you know what, I'm just going to cut everything off and I'm just going to try to just relax for a minute
Yes. Oh, yeah.
and just chill out for a second and so I can think. That's a form of self-care. If you have people
Yes.
around you, it could be different. It could be where you say, okay, this thing, y'all know, I'm be, chilling out. That way, no one don't come up rolling up on you. And, hey, could you? And that's defeating the purpose.
Exactly. Another form of self-care is saying no. Saying no is a form of self-care. You can't do everything. You can't overextend yourself. It is hard to, and that's the thing. You really will feel overwhelmed and stressed out by overextending yourself. But saying no, taking a break. Any others that you can think of that's kind of,
Yeah, this one. I mean, it mentions simple stuff. Like I was looking on there, some of the stuff we
yeah.
mentioned, but it's talking about even just like, and I was thinking about I think it was like something you did on Instagram or TikTok or something. But just even making and sipping a cup of tea,
Yes.
a warm little cup of tea, tea
So,
time.
so guys, Christopher bought me a teapot and he bought me some tea. I actually saw, just like he said, I saw this TikTok of this blooming flower tea that you put it's a, little flower that, little ball that you put inside the teapot and you pour the hot water over it and it blooms like a flower. Beautiful to watch. And it was delicious. The aroma of the flower, because it is green tea, but the aroma of the flower just sets it off. And just the smell alone just helps me because I like smelling nice things. I'm into the smells that can help you relax or set you in a really great mood. So yeah, the teapot, and when I saw it, I kept watching several different TikToks on those blooming flowers. So flowering teas, and I think it's called blooming flower tea. But yeah, that's nice. But you're right, sipping on tea is a form of self care because you relax when you're drinking tea. You feeling relaxed anyway. So
We're not talking about knowing the tea, it's sipping on the tea. Um,
yeah.
I think back in the day, people would do it, but they didn't know it that was a specific thing. I was thinking about it in Savannah because we used to have to go there for the summer. And my grandmother, who she stressed about a lot. She had a lot on her mind from a different generation, and sometimes when something stressed her, and she would have to address it, but then she would go and sit out on the front porch sometimes, like while she preparing, like if she wanted, because they made everything fresh. So she had these snap peas. She would literally be
Yeah.
snapping the peas out on the porch in her rocking chair, doing her thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bother her. That was therapeutic for her. She was
Oh yeah.
preparing the meal, for later on or for the next day or whatever. But just that little time of her kind of letting the sun kind of hit her, but she also had some shade. It was during the
Oh yeah.
evening time. And it's nice and quiet. The only thing you can hear then is like some chicken, some roosters maybe.
Yes.
But we, it was quiet. It was a peaceful time, and I think that was one of her forms of self care.
You put me in mind of something as far as back in the day, our relatives. If you think about your grandma, you mentioned your grandma. My grandma did the same thing.
Yeah.
She would sit on the porch and snap. She had little snapping beans. Just snap the beans, or shuck the corn, or she paired things that came from the garden or from the field or whatever. Or she would do that. But that is relaxing. You know, so I
It's
didn't
just
even think
something.
about
Yeah,
that
it's
when you till you
just
mention it.
people don't realize there's something to get your mind around. Another thing you did that I thought about when you was younger with some of your sisters and nieces, whatever, is dancing.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
don't know, and the monotony of dealing with school and just people that are interesting.
yeah,
Those moments and times that kind of you can snap back to and remember was those forms of self care where you know what, I'm just gonna do a little
yeah.
something here, and me and my family member, that was formative.
Well, I'm
What was
gonna.
that like?
I want to talk about that
Yeah,
because I want to tell you where when I started dancing. Um,
and she can dance.
so guys, this was back in the day.
Fun fact.
Um, when my grandmother passed away, this was back in '87. My grandfather bought me a little boombox. That helped me. That and I lost a lot of weight. I'm telling you. I mean, well, I think okay. What I can say is it toned me up
Yeah, I was
really
gonna say
well.
it kept you where you needed to be.
Yeah, I was toned up. At the time, I think I was 12, turning 13.
Wow.
So yeah, I was, it helped me. It helped me grieve, and I appreciate my granddad because I don't think if I had that boom box, I don't know if I would have started dancing because when he got me, that was my first boom box. I think my little radio. I liked it. It was pink. It was cute, a pink boom box. I'm like, what made him think to my granddad to buy me a little boom box? But it was nice. So yeah, thank you for that memory because I didn't even think how that would be good for self care. And honestly, guys, you have to think out the box sometimes, especially when you're grieving or you're going through some hard times. Uh, think out of the box of things, either what you haven't tried before too. So
Hmm.
I think that'll help as well. Some people like cats, pets. Some people like dogs. Having animals around help. So, and we're talking about well-being there. So, me and my little boombox, and my niece and my cousins too, because when they came over, we all danced together. We had fun. We had a really good time. So, I miss those days. But yeah, that's where I really started dancing, and I enjoyed it. So, it was a good times.
Yeah. Um. Man, it was something I was gonna say and I forgot. But hey, listen, it was man, I forgot what it was.
Okay. Well, I do. Well, when you let me know once you think of it, because I wanted to bring this out
Go ahead.
as well. So when we talk about well-being and self-care, some of the things that we mentioned too earlier on our episodes was about food. Well, we'll talk about how the physical and the mental meet in regards to how they both play a big part in your well-being. So I can remember too.
Oh, I remember.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, well, I'll finish this out and just
Go
be
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
I can remember as well because I was a little heavy before my grandma because she cooked like I don't know if she cooked 4 or 5 meals a day. She laid it down. I was eating and I was a little chubby, but she cooked really good. But when I started, you talking about exercise and grief, I'm thinking that exercise kind of helped me with my endorphins because I was really, really sad then. So,
Hmm.
I think that's helpful, guys. The exercising really will help a lot. For me, I should say that for me, because dancing is a form of exercise and I dance really hard. You talking about MC Hammer, y'all know those moves he had, my goodness, I'm telling you, that weight melted off. Go ahead, Chris. You remember?
Yeah. So, and it was kind of connected to what you were saying earlier about the dancing.
Hmm.
That's you could just tell from that example that sometimes people hear self care, they think it's something you have to do by yourself. It's really just things to help yourself mentally. So sometimes it will be something you just do. Sometimes it may be others with her, but it's what helps oneself. It's something that improves oneself, and it starts with their mental, and then of course physical. So that was
Hmm.
another thing. And then I was thinking about with the boom box.
Yes.
Um, we had some boom boxes. Yeah, when me and you got married, we had some boom boxes. But I
Hmm.
never like took boom boxes outside the house because back in those days, I always thought okay, I think all my brothers thought this way. We don't want to have to deal with if somebody touched the boombox. So we had one, and it's usually like it's supposed to go mobile. You can easily use it. But I remember like we never, unless we went to like some kind of function where there's a gathering or something, but
Yeah.
just for personal, it stayed in the house. So
Yeah. And every time I see because they had bigger one, the gray ones, I always think about Run DMC and LL Cool J because,
because he had one on the radio, and the video I think had a boombox.
yeah.
And it was on
So,
my radio.
wow, we lived in memory lane.
Yeah.
Also, think about some stuff that even back in the day that you won't even think about that being part of self-care. Like we did a lot of dancing out back in the day, but also you talk about kids, they played outside mostly. And you think about a kid, because yeah, that's how we were. My mom and my grandma didn't let us hang in the house all day. We were outside playing, had roller skates. We had things. I mean, we even made our little things to play, outside. And I can consider myself, have a large family. It's 5 of us. We've all, always somebody to talk to, so we kind of, play amongst ourselves. But if you think about that too, play is self-care for a child.
Well, I don't know. From my point of view as a guy, it was, and my mom did want us to go outside, but it was more releasing of energy.
Yes.
Just release your energy, go get on your big wheel, run. And sometimes you get injured, didn't turn out well. Some bad things happen, but that was just energy. It's more of, and it's this, and you get it more as you get older of things that helped you be calm. Now, there are some little things you might have did. Like I read comics.
Yeah.
So the reading of the comics was different, even though that's sort of an activity. But reading that and being in silence, no one bothering me, and reading it and just enjoying the adventure. Now that helped. That was a form of self-care for me, because that did help me kind of just enjoy that day. But some stuff like, if you're playing baseball or playing sport, that's more of just an activity that you just burning energy and hopefully having a good time.
Yes.
Now, there are things you can plan. We talking about long-term self-care. It's like what you and I did.
Yeah.
We did that together. We made a plan. We wanted to make sure we stay cool and relaxed. And once we got out our own heads, I would say we was able to accomplish that, because we basically, like you say, minds link up. You want the same thing. You want to accomplish the same thing. And it was a really, really fun trip. I had an amazing time.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were definitely relaxed, rejuvenated. We were in a better state mentally. And when you're around nature, when you're around water, when you're outside, your body just reacts to that positively.
Fresh air.
Yes.
Certain things. Hey, listen, form of self-care. So like it talked about just going outside and walking. That's a form. Well, what about going outside and being around certain flowers? Hopefully you're not allergic to them or anything, but just being around beautiful, vibrant, colored flowers and walking in the fresh air.
Yes.
So that's even more enhanced. And that's some of the things that we were able to do.
Yes.
Certain things, yeah.
And butterflies. I love watching butterflies.
I do too, but she likes them, have an affinity for them.
Yeah, I love watching butterflies, and I got to watch the butterfly. It was just amazing. It was amazing.
It was beautiful.
So think about outside. Things that adults can do outside is they can play basketball. They can play, just like Chris mentioned, baseball. So much stuff you can do outside.
Treats. That's another thing, like a little form of treats that you don't usually eat. It's kind of like, okay, this is how I eat. Also eating healthy. That's a form of self-care. But like if you say, you know what, I'm going to try a warm cookie with one of my favorite ice creams today. Just treat myself. I did good. I had a stressful day, and you go to a little cafe somewhere. And that's, again, it can be by yourself or with somebody, but as long as you're taking care of yourself.
Haagen-Dazs, Breyers. Oh, what's another one? There are a lot more. Ice cream, especially the gelatos. Those are good too. Yes. Mm. Self care, guys. Self care. Treating yourself, self care
You
to some
see,
dessert.
you are see yourself there.
Oh, be even better if the dessert wasn't full of, you know,
I remember
GMO.
my uncle. He would talk about, and I didn't know what he was, but I was younger when he would say this. And he said
Hmm.
one of his most peaceful times is when he would go. It was someplace in Savannah when he was younger, and they sold these soups, and he would, his mom would give him
Hmm.
enough money. It didn't cost that much to get a little cup of soup. And he said just during the cooler, times down here in the South, it does get cold, and he get that warm cup of soup. He said that was just like one of the memories he don't forget, because that was he was comfortable. It was
Hmm.
like that warmness of
Oh
something
yeah.
going down, and just that moment of peace. So it's just finding those moments like that.
Yes.
Those are little forms of self care to keep you from going off into the left field somewhere.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to stop yourself in your tracks. I've done that several times when I've become, when my anxiety level or my stress level going up. I was like, okay, stop. Let's read.
Hammer time.
Yeah, it's time for me to stop. Let me get up. Let me go away.
And it
Let
works when
me
you're aware.
refocus and
Yeah.
refocus. Yeah.
When we are aware, like it's hard to stay aware of ourselves, but when we are aware of how we are, what we do and what we say, we way nicer, way more loving to people. Sometimes we'll forget, that's fine, but then jump right back into it, because
Yeah.
by doing that you'll also be very aware, like and you have to decide, okay, I'm gonna try to work on this. I don't want to put this on nobody, but also I'm gonna need some people to kind of give me space so I can get myself there,
Hmm.
and then you can help others. It
Yes.
is so difficult to be of benefit when you know you're not where you need to be. So self-care is important.
You just mentioned another one, helping others.
Yeah.
Self care. Think about the feeling that you get when you give. You have this very good feeling inside when you give to others. Self
And
care is
all
well
right.
being.
Yeah.
So it's like you feeling good, helping others.
Just want to elaborate on that. Somebody may hear that and say, "Oh, I ain't got no money." It ain't. When Angela's talking about, she's talking about in many ways. You can give of, just say something nice. You can give of your time. So you don't have to go and spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, if you give somebody a little gift, that's fine, because the process of giving is the important thing. It's going to guaranteed it's going to make you feel better. Whether the person seem like they appreciate it or not, hopefully they do. I promise you feel better, because there is more in giving than receiving, unless you have some. If it's not, then that's another thing you need to check
Yes.
into. If something like you don't get nobody,
Yeah.
look into it, because you definitely start feeling a little better. And you will find people are mostly appreciative, even if they don't always know how to show it. They are. They are. Just think that they are. Just know that and walk off.
Yeah.
Leave it like that.
They say it's more something in giving than receiving. Blessings, I guess. Is that right?
There are more gifts. There's more. You get more in return. Basically, is
Yeah.
what it's saying. You get more. It's just scriptural. Um, uh, People know. You get more out of it. You're going to get more joy out of it.
Hmm.
You're going to receive more joy personally. Don't do it because of that, but just you'll find that if you have become like that a little bit,
Yeah.
you'll find that, man, I do have a little bit more joy in my life. And if you not like that at all, you'll find that if you just miserly about stuff, you'll find that you're a little bit more, don't sit well all the time. You're more angry, more upset. I'm not saying that people that don't give or like that. I'm just saying that I have always experienced feeling better by giving people things. Not that
Hmm.
somebody asking and I just give it to them, but I'm just saying, just
Yeah.
out of the blue, doing something for somebody out of the blue.
Yeah. Yeah. He is definitely. I can tell he enjoys that.
Yeah.
And that's good having that quality.
And I'm gonna say this, just adding to what you said. I've gotten several different responses, and they're not always positive, but it didn't stop me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep doing it because that's what the information said. That's what The word said. I believe it,
Yeah.
and guess what? I know it to be true. And I think now that I'm thinking about it, that has probably been a little form of self-care for me. I just didn't realize it until right now. I'm talking about it.
But sometimes you get your gratitude later down the road. Sometimes people don't forget that. Down the road, they'll come back. You remember when you gave me this, that, that helped me. They don't tell you right away because they might be going through some stuff.
Right.
They might, oh, you helped me out by giving me that. Look, I used it for this or that, or it made me feel this way or that way. And they'll say, thank you.
Yeah. But don't, whether they ever say it, don't do it for that reason, then you'll stop.
Yeah, you have to give.
Just determine that's just what you're going to do sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to give and not expect nothing in return.
In fact, think like I'm not getting nothing. When we were walking the other day, we seen somebody, a young man over there. He probably just wanted to be by himself.
Yes.
Relax, just for a minute before he probably taking a break. And you can do it anytime. See, certain things you can do in between work and everything. So don't think about like, oh man, I got to set up for self-care. No, just little things you can do.
It just was in a moment. You catch yourself stressed out, self-care. And I honestly, guys, it is good to have a self-care routine where you are taking breaks and it is a routine for you. And you do those self-care things on the whim sometimes with the stress, but it's good to have a routine of self-care. You can have a routine before you go to bed, and then when you wake up in the morning, it could be a routine. Now, I am working on that. So that's something I'm working and thinking about, just having myself, because I don't have I need a routine in the morning and I need a routine at night. So I'm working on that. There are things I need to do so that it'll kind of reduce my stress in the morning.
And I see you do things once in a while. Like, you got the little head massager thing. So how you listen to music and stuff like that. But you write a routine. Again, don't feel forced. If it's something you're like, I'm going to do that. You do that. I think I'll feel better. But don't feel like, oh, I got to do the self-care thing.
Exactly. I'm not going to overdo it. It's not going to be even if I do one or two things, that's fine with me. I just need to incorporate something. So
I'm going to tell you something crazy. Sometimes just saying something nice to people could be your form of like, you know what, I'm just going to let, my wife know how much I appreciate her. I'm going to let my son know this or my daughter know that. Or, I should let this person know how much I appreciate their hard work. Those little things help you feel better. You can't worry about how somebody receive it though. That's the one thing. If you do that, don't worry about it. Just things that help you feel better, but it doesn't cause you any issue down the road, or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yeah, it's a lot. But I think that was a good big form of it. Long term one. Sometimes you need those bigger forms, like when we went to the gardens and stuff like that. That was beautiful. And it was better. Turned out better than what I even imagined it. Yeah.
I totally agree. It was wonderful. And it made me think we need to take a few getaways like that more often. We can, seek out different spots here, for staycation. You have to drive a long distance, but if you need to get away, that's what a getaway is. This is last minute planning sometimes.
So guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope that you guys got something out of it. Hope we add a little spice of life to the self-care segment here. But hey, we'll be back. We'll talk about again. We always welcome to suggestions, but we love you guys. You be safe out there.
Take care of yourself.
Yes, take care of yourself and try to help each other. And this is the spice.
Life.